where you want to have fun with them, but it seems like all they're doing is arguing and telling you they're bored. Well, listen into today's Preschool All Stars story, because on today's episode, you're going to meet my good friend, Jamie Reimer. She is the creator of Hands On As We Grow. You're going to learn all about her free 1-week challenge to create lasting memories and improve the attitudes, most importantly, improve the attitudes of everyone in your house with simple go-to activities. Welcome to the podcast, Jamie.
Hi, Joy. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. Now, last time we spoke, I don't know if you knew this, but you were actually one of my first people that I ever interviewed on the podcast. Yeah, a year ago. Like,
Yep.
What?
Well,
so
happy anniversary.
I know. Catch us up. What's been going on in the past year? You're the creator of Hands On As We Grow. What's been going on with your family and your business?
Oh, goodness. We're just still chugging along. Business as usual. We put most of our focus into the activity room, our membership for activity plans.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think of what else has been going on.
And you have 3 boys at home,
I have
right?
3 boys. Yep. They keep us busy with sports. We are in the midst of wrestling season and beginning basketball season with my junior high kid. And we baseball over the summer. They keep us very busy with sports.
That's awesome. And I saw also that you just completed a fun race in, I think it was November. Tell us what kind of, because I love running. So I run too.
Oh, do you?
So yeah, what did you run?
So in November, it was a 15K. We just have a local run here on our trail. It's a gorgeous trail. So it's 9.3 miles that we run there. And I had a PR on that, so I was very excited. However,
nice.
Since then, my knee has been injured. So I've been taking a break and slowly working back up and getting some miles in. But,
yeah. I hate that. I hate the injuries that come with it. Oh, man. Well, nice job getting your PR. That's awesome. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on right now is because we've just had Christmas break, and sometimes during that, when the routines get out of whack, the schedules are non-existent and everything is up in the air, a lot of times moms and also preschool teachers, as we get back into the classroom, we're trying to say, what just happened, right? Like, I mean, we had a great experience, but all of a sudden everybody just seems off. And I think a lot more people are craving this, structure and let's get back into activities and things, but sometimes they were just non-existent during the break. So you've put together a really, really cool, and I want to talk about this free 1-week challenge to helping moms and preschool teachers get back to just having fun, hands-on activities with the kiddos. So let's start right there. Because when I was listening back to our podcast episode a year ago, one of the key themes you talked about was accountability. And I love this. Like, tell us why it's so important to be like accountable. Because I think a lot of times, like, we feel siloed, right? Whenever we've got our kiddos at home or when we've got our own classroom, it's just kind of us and the kids. But like, if we introduce other people around us, all of a sudden we start doing more activities and things are more fun. Why is accountability so important?
It's what helps you actually follow through. It's same thing with me running. When I have a friend to tell them that I'm going to go run, X miles today or this week or whatever. And then, next week happens and they're going to come and ask, oh, did you do that? You kind of have to follow through and do it. So it's the same thing with activities. If you kind of put your, what do you want to say? Not exactly just telling somebody, hey, I'm going to go do 7 activities this week or 4 activities this week. It's more just saying, like, signing up, committing, putting that up, not like on paper, putting it on paper, like your goal on paper kind of thing, makes you more accountable to doing it. And then having somebody just kind of hold your hand the whole way through, like, hey, here you go. Here's what you can do today. Same with a workout or a fitness plan kind of thing. Like, here's your workout for today. It's way easier to accomplish and follow through on it. So that's where the challenge is coming into place, where it walks you through and has that accountability with it.
I think so. You hit it on the nail right there, because you talked about like 1 activity a day. I got to be honest, like, there is so much going on in life, and I'm sure that our listeners can agree, like, holy cow, after the holidays, is inundated with so much things. How can we add one more thing to our plate? Right. But it's really interesting when we give our time first to our kids, all of a sudden it feels like we have more time afterward, because when you invest first into the quality time with your kids, they feel like their buckets are full. And so then they go play by themselves.
Yep.
So I love the idea of like first playing with your kiddo, investing in them with this like one activity that day. Like you don't need to plan like tons. So this is awesome. And I noticed too with your activities, because I just downloaded the 1 week challenge. I can't wait to do these with my kids. And the cool thing is I know it says for ages 2 to 5, but like I have a 9 and 11-year-old and they're still going to love those. Like,
for sure.
They're still kids at heart. So yeah. So tell us about this idea of like, when we first give time to our kids, then it opens up our time for the rest of the day.
You totally hit the nail on the head when you mentioned it. Why one activity a day? Because a lot of people are like, okay, well, one activity a day, it lasts like 15 minutes. It could last longer. This is, I'm going to get back to that, but just kind of carving out 15 minutes for your activity each day, spending that quality time with your kid fills up their love bucket, attention bucket kind of thing.
Yes.
And either that sparks, I was going to wrap around to this, now I'm forgetting where I was going, but either that sparks more creativity to extend the activity further and getting, going on throughout the day, or it lets your child feel fulfilled with love to you, that you have spent that quality time together, that then frees them up to go play on their own without needing your attention constantly throughout the day. Well, I was going to mention like why one activity a day and not, because if it only lasts 15 minutes, you have 8 hours
Right.
a day to fill or whatever. Like how in the world, why only one activity? But that's exactly it. I don't want anybody to feel overwhelmed. Like I can't accomplish this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has 15 minutes in your day, whether you think so or not, you have it in your day. And we have tools or a guide on how to figure out your times of the day that you could fit in 15 minutes. But yeah, that's the goal, is just to sneak in that 15 minutes. So that way it then leads to something else or lets them create on their own or play on their own.
Totally.
I always get off track. I have no idea.
No, you're perfect, because it sparks the creativity. And I think that's what's so cool is it's not just like an activity just for the sake of an activity. It's a creative one that sparks like curiosity and science and obviously the hands-on component, but you bring all those into your activities and all of a sudden like the lights start going off, so that therefore it can spurt to different activities for the kiddos. Are like, oh, hey, what if we tried this? Right. And now all of a sudden their brains are going and they're extending it on their own. But first we just had to spark it. Right.
That prompt pretty much.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's exactly it.
And I think too, like because there's so many activities on the internet. I mean, let's get real, right? And if we're like, what should I do with my kid today? Like, like my kid says they're bored. What, like, and then you go off a tangent. And so what I love is it's so actionable. It's like, hey, forget everything else. Let's just get like our blinders on right now. And just, here is your next week. Like, let's just start there, right? Here is 1 week and only 7 activities. And they're all like the most fun that is going to spark that creativity, just to get you started. So that's genius.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yes, we have several readers, customers, members that have said that. I have one that's given me a testimonial saying she has 92,000 Pinterest pins of activities, and yet she hasn't done any of them. Like it is so hard to do it because you get so overwhelmed with all of them coming at you. So to narrow it down, just have somebody deliver something to you saying, this is the one you should do today, kind of thing.
Yes.
And which makes it just takes the overwhelm off. Like, oh, well, I can do that. I have those supplies on hand. We can go do that kind of thing. I don't remember where else I was going to go.
I think too, like that, also talking about supplies, because that's the other thing. I mean, and let's go to Pinterest for just a second, because I do the same thing. Like I'll be on TikTok or I'll be on Facebook, and I'm actually not a Pinterest girl, but I don't know where I would save them to, but anyways, but I get the concept, because in Facebook, I'm like, save the post, and I stick it in a folder that says kids. And I have a thing on for TikTok that says kids, and I've never opened the folder again. But I think in my head, when I want to have an activity, I'll go open that, but I never do. Do you do the same thing? I mean, you
we
don't
hear it all the time. And this is the thing with TikTok and any kind of social media.
Yeah.
Those activities that you're seeing are created for the viral aspect, to get the engagement, to get the shares and whatever. It's not to actually like, let's do this at home. It's not realistic in that way.
Yeah.
So often you don't have those supplies on hand.
Right.
So that's what we really focus on is activities that have supplies that most people have at home. If they do any kind of activities at all, they are very common household craft supplies.
Right.
There's nothing funky about it. And if you have to go buy them, you're going to be using them hundreds of times. So it's not like you're going to buy something for one thing and never look at it again.
You're so spot on. Like, I'm literally thinking of the TikToks that I save for elephant toothpaste, and they're really cool. It basically like the scientific, experiment thing that it just creates this gigantic explosion of materials. But yeah, I haven't done it because I'm like, oh, I need to go get whatever ingredients at the store. So let's talk about that. Because when I was looking at your activities for the week, these 7 beautiful activities, I was looking at the ingredient list and I'm like, check, check, check. I have everything on that list. And I don't even have a preschool at home anymore. So it's not like I even have preschool materials. Now my kids are grown. I just have normal household materials, which is amazing. So let's talk about one of my favorites, magic milk. So I saw this in your activity. And so magic milk, like, I think I love the science type of experiments personally. Those are the ones that I really resonate with, right?
Yep. So you like the magic, the magic of it all kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say magic because it was magic milk. But yeah, most science has like some magical component to it. So
it does, because, and I think here's the catch is like, if I get excited, I know that my kids will be excited, whether that's my preschool students or my own kids. I gotta like it, right? I gotta learn something new. So I like learning things new. Do you find that too? Is that the same way with you? Like, because with homeschooling,
my kids definitely get more into it when I'm excited about it, for sure. Yeah,
totally. Like, and I homeschool my kids, and I'm like, if I don't even want to teach this, like, I'm bored to tears. How can they even get excited about it?
Okay, they can read you for sure, and
I can read me. I'm like, I don't even want this. I don't want to listen to myself. So this is what I love about your activities is like, they got me excited to go do them. Right. Okay. So here's just supplies, and I'm not going to give the recipe away, but I'm just going to list the supplies because I think it's super important for people to know, like, that these are like standard things you should have at home, right? Dish soap. Yes. Check. We have dish soap. Food coloring. That is one that occasionally we might not have on hand, but yes, food coloring. Q-tips. I mean, if you don't have Q-tips, who are you? You're not my people.
And like, even in that one, there's other things you could use, which is something we very much encourage our members to do. We actually have a substitution list for or even our basic supplies. Like, if you don't have this, you could also use this, this, and this. And still, if you don't have anything else, we recommend you ask, because I don't want you to go buy anything for this.
Totally. Small dishes and bowls. I think we have a few of those in the cupboard. Whole milk. Now I got to ask, can we use almond milk? Or we need whole milk?
I guess I don't know on almond milk right offhand. I do know that it works better with whole milk versus like skim milk. The more
the consistency, right? It's that makes sense.
So I guess I'm not sure on the almond milk. I'll have to look at that one.
It's a science experiment.
Yeah, exactly. That's your different milk.
Go see if it works or not. That's awesome. Okay. Now the other one that I really loved, and here's what's super fun that I loved about this. When I got your download, a free 1-week challenge of activities, just these amazing fun 7 activities. I loved it. It immediately came to my inbox, but then also it says, hey, like, this is for ages 2 to 5, but it also said, hey, do you have a toddler that you just want toddler activities, or do you want just one for preschoolers? So really, you can get a couple more activities than just 7, which I love. Yeah. And the milk one, I think, was from the preschooler one, but let me go back to our typical 2 to 5. And this is this one right here as I find it. Okay. This one I thought would be super fun. Fizzy color experiment. So, and think about like volcanoes, right? So you've got your vinegar and then your baking soda.
Yep.
But the way that you do this, and we don't need to go into, I just want to kind of tease people because I don't want to reveal, but the way that is not a volcano, because who's got time to create the volcano?
No.
That's not a 15-minute experiment.
I don't do prep, by the way. So that's like my whole deal is if I can't do it on the spot with the kids, it's probably not in any of our.
Yes. That's like what everybody needs to abide by that. Don't do prep. Yeah, it's like, okay, where's clay? I don't have clay, and I actually don't have Play-Doh at the moment. I think most homes probably do have Play-Doh, but I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't have those materials, but actually yeah, right. It's a little bit out of Play-Doh age. The same scientific experiment of the baking soda and the vinegar can still be super fun. And you've incorporated some really cool aspects into the Fizzy color experiment. So just a tease, can't reveal more. But these are super fun. Like I want to go do these right now. And the thing is, like we talked about, it's just one activity to spark.
Yep. To get them going, to figure out something else that they want to try or do. And yep.
Totally. The other thing I wanted to talk about with you just really quick before we head off and give everybody this beautiful link to go get your download right now is let's talk about seasons. We talked about that last year as well. And how, obviously when you've got the preschoolers at home, that's a season of life and then they grow up and, more into sports and different, friend activities and things. But I think too, even just in a preschooler year, there can be seasons where moms can feel on and inspired. And then other times when they just feel like overwhelmed, like you said, right?
For sure.
Can you talk to moms and to preschool teachers too, who are just overwhelmed and just kind of give them like some hope that they can have a different perspective about these preschoolers?
Well, first of all, know that it's normal. It goes up and down all the time. And it's, normal to get off the activity bandwagon or whatever you want to call it. And don't feel bad about it. It's okay. Let yourself have a little bit of a break, give yourself some grace. But then when you're ready to get back on, don't, I'm going to bring it back to the fitness. Don't go out and running a marathon, right? To begin with,
right?
Like you don't need to go and do 8 activities today. Go set up the most simple, go to a tried and true activity that you've loved before. It's definitely okay to repeat activities. It's actually more than okay. And we recommend it because it's very good for kids to repeat activities. But go find one that you've already done before that you love with simple activity or simple supplies and whatever. It's simple, easy to set up, and give yourself a quick win with that. And just go from there. Kind of just keep going back to the tried and true until you find your groove again, because it happens to all of us. We actually, in our membership again, in the activity room, we have a whole section, a lesson on how to get back into the groove after you've fallen off, because it happens to everybody. So know it's normal and just give yourself some grace.
That's awesome. So here's what I want everyone to go do. As you know, I love to bring our guests on that have beautiful, actionable things for you to go do. So right now, go to this link, and I'm going to drop it in the show notes and also in the description. It's a little bit long. So
I've actually made it simpler for you.
Did you?
I knew it,
that's beautiful.
It's going to be handsonaswegrow.com/challenge.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'll say that again. handsonaswegrow.com/challenge. Go there to get your 1 week free activity guide, 1 activity each day, materials you already have on hand, and most importantly, tried and true activities that your kids and students are going to absolutely love. So Jamie, again, thank you so much for being on. And everyone that's listening, remember, not only does she have this beautiful 1 week challenge, but she also has the activity room. So if you love her challenge, you're going to love the activity room, and she'll tell you more about that after you join her free 1 week challenge. Jamie, you're awesome. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much, Joy. It was so nice to talk to you.
If you loved today's episode, then you are going to love this. I want to give you a free gift in your hands. This is a copy of my book, Start Your Preschool, and I want to get it to you for free. Yes, I said for free. It is a 300-page book. It'll help you learn the step-by-step process to actually starting your local or your online preschool. Every single step that I walked myself through, as well as the thousands of women who've created their own successful preschools, have gone through the exact steps listed in this book. Not to mention, I also share 20 amazing women's stories. So you can see how not only did it work for me, but it works for amazing women just like you as well. I want to get you this free copy. Just go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get it to you today. Again, just go to freepreschoolbook.com and we'll get it right to you.